jum nam ta rum ta dhalam ko tak de ko da de tang gida gida ta jum tak jum ta takita ta da ta jum gida jum ta tanam ta rum ta takita ta de tang gida ta tarita ta dhanata ta runata ta dimita ta da jum tanam ta rum tagadim takita gida dim ta tarigida ta jum dim da ta jum nam da ta jum tam takita dhana ta tangirada dim ta tarigida ta jum dim takita jum takita jum da jum takita ta jum kirada ta dam tarita ta dhana tarita ta tarigida ta dhanata jum tarita dhana ta tangirada ta jum dim da ta jum nam takita jum ta dim tum nam ta tangirada di ta dhanata ta tarigida dhanata ta dhanata ta dim ta tarita ta dhanata ta tarita dhanata dhanata de tangirada ta dim tarigida ta dim tarigida ta dim tarigida ta dim tarigida jum tarigida tangirada tarigida.
Hello, I'm Anika and you will soon meet Isha. We're looking forward to teaching you all some of the basics of Bharatanatyam, India's oldest classical dance form. Bharatanatyam originates in Tamil Nadu, and some estimates have it dating back to 500 BCE. In Bharatanatyam, we have two types of dance. We have rhythmic dances and we have expressive dances. Rhythmic dances combine some of the basic steps, called aravus, into a stream of interesting movements. Expressive dances, on the other hand, aim to tell a story, often about a Hindu god or goddess, and the dancer embodies the emotions and the events that take place in the story. The dancer often uses certain hand gestures to describe objects or people, and this helps the viewer to understand what's happening in the story. For example, a queen was laying down for a nap, and suddenly out the window she saw a deer running away. Now obviously this is a short and fairly nonsensical story, but you get the idea. Isha and I are excited to embark on this journey with you to teach you all some of the basics of this dance form, and the schedule will go as follows. We will begin by teaching you some of the mudras, or hand gestures, and as you start to become comfortable with those, we will introduce aravus, which are the basic steps, which combine both hand gestures as well as foot and arm movements. Finally, when you become somewhat comfortable with the aravus, then we will introduce other basic dance choreography, which will combine a lot of the aravus into an interesting stream of movements, which will go along with the music. I encourage you all to practice some patience while learning Bharatanatyam, since it is often a process that requires several years for people to master. However, we do believe that within these few weeks you will be able to get to a place where you can perform some of the dances and feel proud of what you have accomplished. So that being said, get ready, and we're excited to move forward.
Guys, my name is Isha, and I am so happy that Anika and I have got this opportunity to teach all of you at Shanti Bhavan, one of India's most graceful dance styles, Bharatanatyam. I live in New Delhi and I go to a world school called Step by Step, and I am currently in the 10th grade. And I cannot wait to go on this journey with all of you guys at Shanti Bhavan. I've heard some great stuff about all of you guys, and I can't wait for you guys to dance along with us. I'd just like to tell you a little about myself. I love dancing. Since I was a little kid, all I remember doing is dancing. I dance when I'm happy, I dance when I'm sad, I dance when I'm stressed, because dance for me is not something that's forced upon me. It's something that comes naturally to me, especially a dance form like Bharatanatyam. With its grace and its poise, it's one of India's most stunning dance forms. I'd also like to add that it is going to not be the easiest of the dance styles to learn, but I can tell you that it's going to be one of the most fun dance styles to learn. And I promise all of you that by the time our 10 weeks together are over, you guys are going to be quite advanced in Bharatanatyam. We would love for you guys to send us regular videos of your progress, and we would love to send you replies. I cannot wait to make great steps, great dances, and great fun with all you guys. And I hope that we meet super soon after the lockdown is lifted and we're in better circumstances to meet face to face. Till then,
I'm Anika, and I'm a recent graduate of Stanford University in the United States in California, where I studied computer science. And my parents moved to the US from India when they were about my age. And several years later, I was born in Portland, Oregon, where I grew up until I went to college. It's been very important to me to stay connected to my Indian culture. I was lucky enough to go take several trips to India to visit extended family as a child, and beyond that, in my home, my parents speak Hindi a lot of times. I eat dal chawal for dinner, and I also grew up doing dance. I started learning Bharatanatyam when I was about 6, and since then have tried to find ways to perform, and have also been able to learn several other forms of Indian dance. I joined the Garba Ras team when I went to Stanford, and we were able to compete across the country. And actually every year since I was only a few years old, I've been performing at our local Portland, Oregon India Festival, which happens every year around August 15th, or close to August 15th. And the reason I want to teach this class for you all is that I really love dance and have continued to find ways to perform, and it's something that has not only been super enjoyable for me, but has also taught me several life lessons. And so I hope you all are able to have the same takeaways from that, and excited to go on this journey with you.
hello class, it's Isha. In today's class, we will start with a quick workout followed by our adavus. Our first workout steps comprise of 20 jumping jacks. I will do the first 4 as a demonstration. After completing 20 of the jumping jacks, we will move into high jumps. Please do 5 of these. After our high jumps, we will move into leg ups. We will continue with 10 of these. After this, we will move into warming up our arms, since our arms play a very integral part in Bharatanatyam. Please rise your right arm, make it into a fist, and rotate it clockwise as well as anti-clockwise. Please continue the same with the left hand. Continue this 5 times, both on the right arm and the left arm. After this, we will move into stretches for our thighs and our knees. Continue this 5 times, both on the right leg and the left leg. We will now move on to our exercises for our shoulders and our upper part of the arm. Please keep both your arms perpendicular and move them inwards. Move them outwards. Move them inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards. Then make them completely straight and move them outwards, inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards, inwards. Then bring them perpendicular again and do up, down, 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 up, down. Then make them horizontal again and take them up and down, 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 up and down. Please repeat this 2 times. After that, just relax your arms. Rotate your shoulders backwards, forwards, and loosen up. After that, please take your right arm, take it behind your head, put the left arm behind it and stretch it, exactly like this. Continue the same practice with the left arm. Continue this hand exercise for 5 times. After that, we move on to stretches for our feet. Please take your right foot out and rotate it clockwise, similar to the exercise we performed on our hands, and anti-clockwise, and then similarly with the left foot, clockwise, anti-clockwise. Continue this 5 times with both the right and the left foot. Then we will move on to shoulder turns. Continue this 10 times. After that, we will move into 5 Surya Namaskars. I will demonstrate it twice, and after which you will do 5 of them. I will demonstrate it again. You will please continue this 5 times. After your Surya Namaskars are done, you will move into running on the spot. then slow jogging, then running on the spot, then slow jogging, then running on the spot, then slow jogging. You will continue this for a minute, after which you will loosen your body, loosen your legs, and then your last and final stretch will be going into a complete Muramandi and coming up. We will keep our right and left hand on top of each other. Make sure that your elbows are aligned with your shoulders and go into a complete Muramandi and come up. Go into a complete Muramandi and come up. Go into a complete Muramandi and come up. You will continue this 10 times. You can do it at a slower pace. There is no hurry. All of these above exercises that I just demonstrated can be done at your own pace. Please make sure to completely stretch your bodies so that during the dances, you do not face any injuries.
Now we will introduce the single hand gestures called mudras. These are the basic building blocks of Bharatanatyam, so it's important to learn them and know them well. We will go slowly at first and continue to repeat the process of learning these so that you all are able to master them. They might be difficult at first. They might work muscles that you aren't used to working, but it's important to continue having patience and to continue repeating the process of learning them. Bharatanatyam is focused on strength and precision, so it's very important to pay attention to the details. If we say to keep a finger straight or to bend your elbow, these are details that are important, so please take note of them and continue to practice them. We hope that through repetition, these will become like second nature to you, but it will involve some patience, and so we hope that you can practice this with us throughout. Something to pay attention to while you're performing the mudras is your hand and arm positioning. It's very important to hold this strong and precisely, and the way to do this is to hold it like this. So the couple things to take note of here are that your shoulder and your arm are at the same level, so don't drop it like this and don't go too high like this. It should be a direct line like this. You should have a 90-degree angle at your elbow. So it should be something like this. And that means that your arm shouldn't go in too much and it shouldn't go out too much. The last thing to make note of is that your wrist should create a 90-degree angle with your hand, or your palm more so. This one is something that is pretty challenging and I also struggle with it. So one way that I practice is by starting with Namaste and slowly bringing your hands apart like this. That's one way to practice, and over time you'll notice that your wrist flexibility will go up and you'll be able to, instead of holding it like this, you'll be able to hold it more like this. So just to reiterate, the three important things to keep track of are your arm being in line with your shoulder, a 90-degree angle with your forearm and the upper part of your arm, and the last thing is a 90-degree angle between your palm and the rest of your arm. So now I'll begin teaching you some of the mudras. We'll do this slowly and in segments so that you all can take out breaks and shake out your hand in the middle, since some of this will be, like I said, working muscles that you aren't used to working and it might feel difficult. So without further ado, one other thing to note before I start is I might refer to fingers on the different fingers with these terms just so that we're all on the same page. Thumb, pointer finger, middle finger, fourth finger, and pinky. So hopefully that'll make sure things are standardized.
So the first mudra is called Pataka. So Pataka, now you can repeat. And this means flag. So all of these fingers are straight and strong, and the thumb is going to be slightly bent. So this is one of the pretty often used mudras, and it can be used in several different contexts. For example, removing obstacles, showing the skies above us, saying ni, and even showing a flowing river. So again, that was Pataka. The second one is Tirupataka. So everything is the same as Pataka except that the fourth finger becomes bent. So try to keep the top part of this finger fairly straight as you can. And the meaning of this one is it is 3 parts of the flag. We use this one in some contexts to display a crown or a tree, for example. So again, that is Tirupataka. Now the third one is Ardhapataka. This is a half flag, and we can show this as waving, like a flag waving in the wind. So again, make sure to keep these 2 fingers very straight. These 2 fingers are bent, and the thumb is still slightly bent inwards. Ardhapataka. The fourth one, Katarimuka. So these are scissors. You will have your thumb over the pinky and the fourth finger, like this, and your pointer finger will be going backwards, and your middle finger will be going forwards. So this one might feel a little bit strange. You still want to have that bend in your wrist so that this is as straight as possible, but it might feel a little bit weird at first. So I'll give you a few seconds to try and get this one. Okay, so Katarimuka. And the next one is Mayura. Some of you all might be familiar with this word. It means peacock. And this one is essentially just the fourth finger bent and the thumb on top of it. The other 3 fingers should be as straight as possible. Okay, so that was 5 hand gestures. Now let's take a break and shake out our hand. So after Mayura, we have Ardhachandra. So this one has the 4 fingers straight and together, and the thumb at a 90-degree angle. So instead of holding it like this, we actually hold it to the side like this, and this means half moon. So we can kind of see like holding it up like that, and so one more time, that one is Ardhachandra. The next one is Arala. So these 3 fingers are going to stay straight, and this one is bent at a 90-degree angle like that, and the thumb is there to meet it. The tip of this finger kind of meets the thumb. So this one, the meaning of this is just bent, and it can be used to show someone like drinking nectar or water, and so yeah, that one is Arala. Next is Shukatunda, and this one, these 2 fingers, the pointer and the fourth finger, are bent, and the middle finger and the pinky are straight, and the thumb is kind of bent a little bit inwards, like we did in Pataka. So this one means a parrot's head, and we can also use it to say like shoot an arrow. So to review what we've learned up to this point, we had Pataka, Tirupataka, Ardhapataka, Katarimuka, Mayura, Ardhachandra, Arala, and Shukatunda. So after Shukatunda, we have Mushti. So Mushti should hopefully feel a little bit easier than what we've been doing. You basically just make a fist, Remember to keep that arm in that 90-degree angle here. But yeah, mushti is nothing too complicated. The meaning is fist, and it also can be used to show strength, so like this. And the one after mushti is also should be a pretty easy transition. It's called shikara, and it's basically just a thumbs up. This literally means peak, and we use this sometimes in some of the artivus. We switch off between this and pataka and things like that. So it's actually used in a lot of artivus, and we can use it also to mean like questioning or to show lips. So that one is shikara. Then we have kapita, and this one is basically your these three fingers are just curled in. The pointer finger is curled around your thumb like that. So that one again is kapita. And then we have katakamuka. So katakamuka is interesting because it actually has three different forms. The first form is like this. So basically the pointer and the middle finger come together with the thumb, and the other two fingers are out like this. So a common mistake here is to curl these fingers down, but you have to make sure that this one is really strong, that your fourth finger and your pinky stand up as straight as possible. So that's the first form of katakamuka. The second form is like this. So the thumb is up, and the middle and the pointer finger are curved like this, and the other two fingers are in. I would say this katakamuka form is probably the least used out of the three of them, but still important to learn. And the last katakamuka is like this. So this one's kind of fun. Just like in kapita, the second finger is curved around the thumb, the third finger is down, and the fourth finger is out like this, and the pinky finger is all the way up. So you can kind of think of creating the different angles with these three fingers. This one might take some practice, but I'll try to give you a few seconds to try and get it. So again, important, just like in the first form of katakamuka, it's very important to keep these fingers straight. So to review again, katakamuka 1, katakamuka 2, katakamuka 3. The first one is actually probably the most commonly used hand gesture in the artivus. You'll use it in, like, I think almost all of the artivus, in all of the sets of artivus, so definitely try to practice this one. And to review what we've done in this segment, we did mushti, shikara, kapita, katakamuka 1, katakamuka 2, and katakamuka 3. So now we will move on. We just finished the katakamukas. The next one is suchi. So this means needle. It can also be used more obviously as a number 1 to show the universe, or just pointing. So this one hopefully is fairly straightforward. You just put your thumb over these three fingers, and it's just how you would normally point. Chandrakala is next. This means the face of the moon. It can be used to show kind of the stars in the sky. So that one is again Chandrakala. Next we have Padmakosha. This one is one of the few hand gestures where you won't be keeping your fingers completely straight, and so they'll be kind of bent, all of them like this, and all of them will just be kind of think of like you're holding a ball, where your fingers, you want to keep them fairly straight, but they do want to have a little bit of a bend. So this means a lotus bud, and we can show it, show kind of lotuses in a garden, for example. So that's Padma Kosha. And then we have Sarpashisha. So this is, as you might guess, a snake head. It looks kind of like a snake head. I hope you can kind of see that. And so we mostly use this to show snakes, actually. But the way to do this is to bend all of 4 of these fingers kind of at the same angle, where they're not like all the way crunched in, but they're not like out like that. They're kind of bent like this much. And then the thumb will be bent in like this. So just like we did in Pitaka, Pataka, all of those, make sure to bend this a little bit in. And so that one is Sarpashisha. And when we do this one, actually we often start from the top and kind of go down like this if you want, or you can just hold it like this. So to review what we've done so far, I know this is a lot of information, but remember that we will be repeating this several times, so just follow along the best you can and try to repeat the names after I say them. Pataka, Tiripataka, Ardhapataka, Kattarimuka, Mayura, Ardhachandra, Arala, Shukapunda, Mushti, Shikara, Kabita, Katakamuka, 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 Suchi, Chandrakala, Padmakosha, Sarpashisha, and then now we will continue on from there. So the next hand gesture is Mrigasisha. This one often is used as the flute that Krishna carries, but it formally means the head of a deer. So this one basically, these 3 fingers are straight but bent at the beginning of the fingers, but they're still straight, and then these 2 fingers are just out. So that one was Mrigasisha. Then we have Simhamukha. So the middle finger and the 4th finger will come in and meet the thumb, and these 2 fingers are as straight as possible. So this one formally means the head of a lion, but can also be used to describe other animals. So, you know, animals dancing, or not dancing, running in the park, or I've seen it being used to refer to a deer or other animals besides a lion. Then we have Kangula. So this is a lily. Sometimes people hold it up like this, sometimes people hold it down like this. How it's done is you bring in the 4th finger and the other fingers kind of drape over. So basically all fingers are just out except for the 4th finger. If you hold it down like this, then it's often used to show bells. So yeah, that one again is Kangula. Then we have Alapadma. As opposed to most of the hand gestures that you hold up kind of at this angle, we hold this one kind of down. So this one is also very important, is used in a lot of the arvus. It's very important and easy to mess this up about not holding all of these fingers as straight as possible. You basically, the angle of the pinky is almost directly up, and the angle of this finger is directly out, and these two fingers in the middle kind of come somewhere in the middle. And the thumb similarly is directly out. So this one is Alapadma. It means lotus, and we can also say like Y. So this one is actually, we switch off oftentimes between Alapadma and the first Katakamuka for a lot of the Aravus, so we'll be doing a lot of this. Okay, now take another 10-second break to shake it up. So after Alapadma, we keep our arm down here and we do Chatura. So Chatura is the pinky is out and these three fingers are bent, like kind of that angle. Like they're not fully straight, but they're like out like this. And the thumb is gonna come and you see where this line is on your fingers, it's kind of gonna rest there. So Chatura, again, it means 4, and we hold it down like this. Next is Brahmara. You bring in your second finger like this, and the thumb and the middle finger will come together, and these two fingers, like in Katakamuka and the other moves, the Alapadma, they're as straight as possible. You've probably seen a theme by now of just being strong and straight. So this is again one of those where you want to practice. So this again, we're back to having the arm up. So make sure to hold that at the shoulder length and with the 90-degree angle here. So that one was Brahmara, and that means bee, like the animal, the bee. Then we have Hamsasya. This one is just these two fingers together, and these three fingers kind of angled, a little bit separated, and also as straight as possible. This one means swan wing. We can also use it a lot of times in the expressive dance forms to show kind of like a necklace. You can show tying something. So that one is Hamsasya. And we have then Hamsapaksha, which is similar, honestly, to Chatura, except it's up like this, and the thumb is just kind of bent in instead of being on the fingers themselves. The thumb is just bent in like this. So the pinky is as straight as possible, and these three fingers are also straight, like this. So that one is Hamsapaksha. So to review the 4 that we just learned, we did Chatura, Brahmara, Hamsasya, and Hamsapaksha. This is the last set of mudras we'll be teaching you. So I know this is a lot to learn, but continue being patient, and I promise they will get easier over time, and you'll come to learn them in and out. So continue pushing forward, and yeah. So after we had the Hamsapaksha, now we have Sandamsha. You basically go in and out with the fingers. When they come in, these fingers will be bent. The thumb will be mostly straight, and so this means pincers. So we kind of see that happening. Mukula. So that was Sandamsha. Mukula is actually just the second part of that gesture. So all the fingers are in, and this means flower bud. So it can also, besides being a flower bud, it can also mean like eating something. It can also mean giving. So sometimes when we give, we go from Mukula into Alapadma. So that one, again, is Mukula. Then we have Tamrachura, which is this finger bent and these three fingers in with the thumb on top. So this is maybe similar to kapita, except without the thumb there. The thumb is on the other fingers. And the last one is, and Tamrachuda, this one means rooster. And the last one is Trishula, which is the trident. It can also mean 3, obviously. So it's pretty simple. Keep these 3 fingers straight and bend the pinky and put the thumb on top of it. So that is the last hand gesture. Congratulations on making it through learning the hand gestures. Again, we will have lots of repetition, so just take a few seconds to shake out your hand, and then we'll go back through the hand gestures one more time.
Now let's review the hand gestures. There are certain things to keep in mind while doing the hand gestures, and we will try to emphasize that as we go through them. The first one, pataka. Make sure to keep all your fingers straight and your thumb slightly bent inwards. Tirupataka. Make sure that this finger is straight out and the rest are completely straight. Your thumb again should be bent. Ardhapataka. These 2 fingers should be out and together, these 2 fingers straight and together, and the thumb again bent. Kattarimuka. Thumb is over these 2 fingers, and these fingers are slightly forward and back, where the second finger is back and the middle finger is forward. Mayura. The 4th finger is down and the thumb is on top of it. The rest of the 3 fingers are straight. Ardhachandra. There's a 90-degree angle between your thumb and the rest of your fingers, and these fingers are completely straight and together. Arala. Only the second finger is down and it is straight out, and the thumb is out, meets the tip of that finger. The rest of the 3 fingers are straight. Shukatunda. The thumb now goes back out and is just bent on the side, and the second and 4th fingers are down. Mushti. This one is simple. It's just a fist, and your thumb is around. Shikara. Thumbs up. Kapita. Your thumb, your second finger, your pointer finger wraps around your thumb. Katakamuka, the first version. These 2 fingers meet, there's your pointer and your middle finger meet your thumb, and these 2 fingers are straight out. It's easy to let these 2 fingers go down and be weak, so it's important to keep them straight. Katakamuka 2. The thumb goes up and the second and 3rd fingers are fairly bent. Katakamuka 3. The thumb again, the pointer finger is wrapped around the thumb. 3rd finger is completely down against your palm. 4th finger is out and pinky finger is straight up. Suchi, basically like pointing, and it kind of is up. Chandrakala, the same thing except pointing with your thumb out. Padmakosha is like all the fingers are kind of are somewhat bent, kind of like you're holding something. Sarpashisha is a snake movement, so all of these fingers are bent and the thumb is in. Mrigasisha, the 3 middle fingers are straight and bend at the top of the fingers. The thumb and the pinky are completely straight as well. Simhamukha, the thumb meets the middle and the 4th finger out. These 2 fingers should be completely straight. Kangola, the 4th finger is in like this, and the thumb is together with it. The rest of the 3 fingers just lay completely flat, completely straight down. Alapadma. All of the fingers should be completely straight. They should be kind of at different angles, with the the pointer and the thumb come straight out and the pinky straight up. Chatura, the thumb is at the middle of these fingers, and they should the middle 3 fingers should be slightly bent. The pinky, though, should be straight out. Brahmara, the second finger should be curled in, and the third finger and the thumb should meet out. Hamsasya, the pointer finger and the thumb are together, and the 3 other fingers are straight out, with the middle finger pointing a little bit forward, and the pinky pointing straight out. Hamsapaksha, the thumb should be slightly bent in. These 3 fingers should be bent at the top, and the pinky should be straight. Samdamsha, going out and in, all fingers out, all fingers in. Mukula, all fingers in. Tamrachura, just the second finger bent. And finally, Trishula, just 3 fingers out and the pinky and the thumb in. Now let's all practice the hand gestures together. We'll both do the hand gesture, and then I will say the name and you will repeat. Remember to keep in mind that your arm should be in line with your shoulder. You should have a 90-degree angle here as well as here. And remember to keep your fingers strong. Pataka, Tirupataka, Ardhapataka, Kattarimuka, Mayura, Ardhachandra, Arala, Shukatunda, Mushti, Shikara, Kapita, Katakamuka, 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 Suchi, Chandrakala, Padmakosha, Sarpashisha, Rigasisha, Simhamuka, Kangula, Alapadma, Chatura, Brahmara, Hamsasya, Hamsapaksha, Samdamsha, Mukula, Tamrachura, Trishula. Good job!